Hi, I'm Doerr, your packaging expert. Today, I'm going to talk about cut and stack labels. Cut and stack labels are often called glue applied labels because they're applied with glue, most commonly to vegetable cans and soup cans. That's where you often see them most, and most people are familiar. So why do people use cut and stack or glue applied labels instead of pressure sensitive labels? Well, let's take a look at two main things that are involved in pressure sensitive labels that we don't have with cut and stack. On cut and stack labels, you just have a single piece of paper. And this single piece of paper has no adhesive on it, and there's no backing sheet or liner. These are just stacked, loaded into a magazine, and fed onto the container by an automatic gluer feeder system. And we'll cover those in another video. But for today, the real question is why? Why use pieces of paper like such for labeling or decorating your containers? Let's take a quick look and a reminder at pressure sensitive labels. Pressure sensitive PS labels, sticky labels, or stickers all have what's called a backing sheet or liner. This backing sheet, which is either paper or plastic, and I'll show you that in a minute, is a premium calendared paper, almost always of virgin materials. So this has got to be very precise in its thickness so that when the label is die cut, that it's not cut too deep when we do this cookie cutter shape. The other thing this has on it already is adhesive, pressure sensitive adhesive, hence why we call it a PS label or a sticker. That adhesive costs money too. In some cases, glue applying and applying your own glue can save you a bit of money. Here's another example of a roll-fed pressure-sensitive label. Rather than being on a paper liner, it's on a clear poly web. Polyethylene, polypropylene, polyester, there's a variety of plastics, but this backing material costs money. And again, so does the adhesive that's on the back side of the label when you're ready to apply it. So let's walk through a couple of cut and stack glue applied label examples. You'll often see them on glass. Glue applied labels work very well with glass, particularly on cylindrical containers. And you'll notice all of the containers here are cylindrical in nature. If they were square, had a special shape, that would be more conducive or lend itself to pressure sensitive labeling or in mold labeling or possibly even shrink sleeving. So it works excellent on glass containers like this, where they're packaged and labeled at super high speeds by applying beads of glue onto the back side of paper and then automatically applied. Here's another example of a small jar. So big, small, large, all of them can be handled with glue applied cut and stack labels. Then you're familiar with ketchup bottle labeling. If you've ever picked up a bottle of ketchup, chances are it's a glue applied label. Whether it's one of the leading national brands or a store brand, almost all of them are glue applied labels. Then virtually every soup can and vegetable can that you've ever purchased has that. Well, let's explore why. So I'm going to peel back the glue applied label, and you can see it's very tight on here, but if I look underneath, I have these bevels or ribs inside the can or on the can itself. If I put a pressure sensitive label or a shrink sleeve on this, you would see all of those ribs. But by using a glue applied label, the ribs almost disappear because the rigidity of the paper sheet conceals the air pockets underneath formed by those ribs. This is a common reason why that happens, or why glue applied labels are used with cans. And then last but not least, a lot of bottled waters have glue applied labels. How can you tell? If you peel in one little area, you'll notice it rips real easy and there's no adhesive on the back side. Only one small bead of glue is used to hold this on at the leading and trail end of the paper label. Why would somebody use this in a high volume application? If you'll notice, This plastic bottle is ribbed all the way to the top. So this glue applied label neatly covers and conceals those ribs, whereas a pressure sensitive label or a shrink sleeve label would not. Moreover, this is super low cost. Why is it low cost? Because there's absolutely no backing sheet as associated with these labels, and there's no pre-applied adhesive expense either. In addition, whoever the manufacturer is doesn't have to worry about where the backing sheet or liner is carried off to and recycled somewhere. So let's recap what some of the reasons are as to why people choose cut and stack glue applied labels. Number one, you're able to offset, print, and eliminate the backing sheet and adhesive. So all you're doing is buying a simple face sheet. Number two, they conceal the ribs or bevels inside cans and plastic bottles. Third, and this is important to understand, there is a lot of really high-speed equipment that is commercially available. Crohn's is certainly a popular brand that many companies use, but there is a lot of high-speed equipment that's available, and a lot of these types of products are packaged at what we would call high speed. High speed in this sense is generally over 100 containers per minute, oftentimes exceeding 200 or even 300 containers per minute. And so there's an abundance of that type of machinery readily available. And last, there's the tradition. There's a traditional packaging that people have been accustomed to and used to, and there therefore is an abundance of machinery commercially available that allows people in their factories to apply glue applied labels or cut and stack labels to their cans, glass containers, and plastic containers without having to invest in new machinery. These are the reasons, or some of the reasons, that people choose glue applied and cut and stack labels. That's all from Validators LLC today. Stay tuned to our channel.